Well, good morning. This video that I'm about to do is going to be a challenging one. I wrote the blurb over 2 hours ago, around 9 o'clock. It's 11:11 now, or 11:12. It might have just turned. I don't know. I don't see the clock behind me, and it's not synchronized with the computer. I just finished listening a little bit ago to Jackie Ivanko sing the Lord's Prayer, and I listened over and over again for a half an hour, maybe more. Over and over, the Lord's Prayer. The title for the talk today is I'm Weary of the Wounded God's Inaction. We are one. How many times have you heard that? In my circles of acquaintance, often. It's all God experiencing itself through many soul fragments, each individual, yet all connected. If that's the case, God is wounded, deeply wounded. And if God cannot heal, neither can the fragments. Fear may be false evidence appearing real, but it is a justifiable emotion in light of the human experience. At first, I laughed when the new court papers were served. After all, I was a diplomat, right? Even called a leader of the peace delegation. So what? That does not stop the fear from growing when confirmation does not match the inner voice that says everything is all right. Until inner and outer are one, I too am wounded. I cannot rise above my concept of God, and sometimes that God seems totally powerless to address the injustices and deception that have ruled this world for far too long. In this moment, I feel very weary. I've often said to God when I have my little conversations with him in prayer time, what are you going to do with a man like me? I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to play the hypocrisy games as much as is in me. I'm not going to play the way a lot of people play this thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell the truth, my truth, what I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling, what's going on in my life right now. I'm going to say the truth. That was my commitment to each of you that listened over 3 years ago when I began doing these videos in January 2011. I committed to telling the truth, whether I'm up or down, whether I feel like I have the answers or feel like I have no answers. I promised authenticity. I believe, for the most part anyway, I've delivered on that promise. That's more than I can say about the promises God has made to humanity through the prophets of old and through his son Jesus and through many gifted individuals, men and women, down through the ages who have brought us messages of hope. Yet, in our lifetime, in the past few decades especially, the beast has grown more onerous, more appalling than ever. We've been told again and again in our spiritual circles that this is a free will zone, and that the powers that be in the universe can't interfere with anyone's free will. And yet they sit back and allow the powers that be on earth to interfere with people's free will every day, day in and day out, with impunity. Frankly, I'm tired of it. I was told that God is omnipotent, but oftentimes in my life, and as I've observed in the lives of others, God doesn't seem omnipotent, but impotent. Quite the opposite, isn't it? And we don't need an impotent God. And we don't need impotent soul fragments, that is, human beings. We need empowered human beings. We need enriched human beings. We need human beings that will stand in the truth and will call anybody that violates the free will of others on their shit. And that we will establish a system that empowers us to enforce the natural law. Do no harm. The greatest harmers in all the world are our governments. But they aren't really governments. And so, but they've given government a bad name. People don't trust government because it's been co-opted. The idea of governance has been co-opted by psychopaths and sociopaths and people that have a lust for power and a lust for control over others. And this is the situation that we find ourselves in 2014, and we've been in this situation all of our lives. I don't care how old you are, it's been all of our lives. And it doesn't seem to be getting better, quite honestly. It seems to be getting worse. The only thing that's getting better is that more people are aware of it. Whereas before it was hidden behind the curtains. Whereas before no one hardly knew about it. There were a few people here and there, and they were silenced as quickly as they could be. Now there are many people like me that are telling the truth and trying to get people to wake up. And yet still the majority of people sleep. The majority of people don't care. And God seems powerless because God allows injustice to prevail. God allows the cries of his people to go unheard and the prayers of his people to go unanswered. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Is that how it's done in heaven? Is it a free-for-all where everybody runs over everybody else? Well, then we need a new heaven, don't we? And a new earth, indeed. We need something that works for all the people. And those that won't allow it to work for all the people and treat everyone equally, they need to be put in a situation where the boomerang comes back and they get back what they've tried to dish out to everyone else in controlling others. Yes, I'm weary. I'm really weary of having to fight battles that should never have to be fought if there was justice in the world, if there was any kind of fairness, if truth prevailed, if the lights were really turned on. And the lights are coming on. More and more people, as I said, are waking up. More and more people are speaking out. And still, the criminals that have taken control of our governments operate with impunity. Because our God is an impotent God. A God who says he's a free will God. And he honors free will. And yet when his people's free will are violated by these demons, it's allowed? I mean, what kind of free will is that? If there's free will, there has to be free will for anybody. Free will means that nobody can do anything to anybody else without their consent and permission, and not a permission and a consent that's gotten arrived at or gotten to by deception and fraud and at the point of a gun. That's coercion, manipulation. That's not free will. Free will, my free will, your free will, everybody's free will ends where the next person's free will begins. We do not have the right to violate the free will of anybody. I don't care if you have a badge. I don't care if you have a gun. I don't care if you have a title. I don't care who the hell you are. No matter who you are, you do not have the right to violate the free will of another. Yet, at the same time, we, as a human race, have not only the right but the responsibility to stop anyone that claims to have an authority that is not derived from natural law. Some other authority, some other right, some other privilege to dominate and control other beings. We don't have that right, and nobody does. And people that claim that right need to be brought under control. And that has to be the same way that they've treated others is how they are to be treated until they wake up. How is that? If they think that they can control others and manipulate others and coerce others and commit crimes against others, well, then those very actions need to be brought on them. The boomerang needs to be brought back. And there needs to be justice, there needs to be karma, and it needs to be swift. What you wish for others needs to come back to you, no matter who you are, no matter who I am. That's the natural law. And we've put up with this allowance and this delay far too long in my book. Far too long. God, what are you going to do with a man like me? I won't lie for you. I won't lie for anybody. I will share my truth. I will share my feelings. I will be vulnerable. I will put my neck out there. And if I have to die for doing that, then I will die for doing that. But I will not be silent when things happen that are unjust. And they're all over the world. There are all over the world every day. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of events occur every day, where people's rights are downtrodden by people claiming authority and using their free will against the free will of another. And this is wrong. This is evil. This is horrendous, and it needs to end. We've had enough, God. We've had enough. I'm weary of your inaction. I'm weary of you having all of the supposed power that you refuse to use to right the wrongs and level the playing field for people, so that people can really exercise, each one of us, our free will. And each one of us can experience the things that we choose to experience, not forced to experience by the free will, supposedly, of someone else who's on a power trip, who's on an ego drive that makes them feel superior. I'm not superior. I don't care how many titles anybody wants to give me. I'm not superior, and God, neither are you. If you won't lift a finger, if you won't raise a hand to help those that are hurting, then there's something wrong and there's something impotent within you. You, God, you, as you're expressed in all of these multiple faceted dimensions and multiple faceted personalities, you need to exercise law and bring law with grace. You've allowed us the grace to experience all this bullshit. Now it's time to allow us the grace to fix it and to heal the wounds that are deep within our soul and our psyche, and in deep within your soul and your psyche, because you are not greater than your creation. You are not any better than we are. You are made of the same stuff because you made us of you. We come from you. We are your offspring. We are your children. We are your creation. And you made us from yourself. And if we're wounded, you're wounded. And it's time to stop being impotent and start being potent. Start being omnipotent, all-powerful. You are all-knowing, right? Don't you see what's going on in the world? Don't you see how criminals that hold positions in governments are abusing their power, are abusing their so-called authority? Don't you see that? Don't you care? Where's the love? It says God is love. Well, where's your love? Love that's just talk is not real love unless it brings action to the situation, unless it brings real remedy, something that people can count on, that if they are violated, somebody's going to pay a price for that violation, because the karma is going to come back and it's going to bite the person that did it to them. Unless it was done innocently, then there can be grace. And we do hurt each other innocently. We do. I know that. I know that. But we don't have that intent. When it's an intent to wound people, when it's an intent to exercise your right and deny the rights of others, it's time to stop that. It's time to stop these judges and these politicians and these police and these CEOs and these bankers and these people that claim to run the world. It's time to stop their shit and end their old world order of domination and usher in thy kingdom come. Usher in what we have longed for, what you've planted in our hearts many, many generations ago from the beginning of time. You've put it in our hearts to rise up, and this is our time. And we're rising up, and we're saying to you, God, shit or get off the pot. Make good on your promises or stop lying to us. If there is no promise that's real, if you can't fulfill your promises, then you may as well just annihilate the whole freaking mess because you made a big damn mistake. And it's time that you change that. I'm not going to keep putting up with the delays. I'm not going to keep putting up with the bullshit. Not for myself and not for anybody else. I'm working hard, and many others of us are working hard to try to change the world as best we can. But we need your help. And if you can't do it, then neither can we. Because we can't enforce something when other people hold all the guns and hold all the ammunition and hold all the physical power, and the manifestation is theirs, not ours. It's time that you allow us to manifest peace on earth and justice for all and allow truth to reign. It's time, God. It's time, and I'm tired. I'm so weary of the bullshit. I'm so weary of your inaction. I'm so weary of promises that don't get fulfilled. I love you, God, and I hate you, and both are true. I hate your inaction. I love your grace, and I want you to be real. I don't want you to be a figment of my freaking imagination and everybody else's imagination. It's time to end the domination of those who violate the free will of life on earth. Let's heal the wounds, please, in yourself and in each of us. Thank you, God, for listening.